Hi guys, my name is Elsie,
My name is JT.
and welcome to our 2016 Chinese Grand Prix review. Now, China was the third race in the 2016 season, and it was the most thrilling race we've seen all season. Firstly, let's start off with Nico Rosberg, who finished 40 seconds ahead of second place Sebastian Vettel and the whole grid to pick up his sixth win in Formula One, his third win of the season, winning all three races of the 2016 season. Now, that was absolutely fantastic. So let's kick off this review. I want to start with qualifying, JT. Now, even though this is the third race of the season, this weekend was the first time we saw the original qualifying. So the last time we saw it was in Abu Dhabi 2015, which was half a year ago, 6 months ago, which is unbelievable. So this is the first time we saw it. Now, of course, it was good, and to be honest, in my eyes, when I was watching it, I didn't think we'd reverted back to anything. I thought that's just what we continued with because this elimination was terrible. We can say that we lived through the days of it though. Two red flags with Pascal Wehrlein in Q1 and then Nico Hulkenberg in Q2. Now, obviously, Nico's loose wheel nut earned him a grid penalty of three positions, which meant he moved back from his original qualifying position in P10. Now, the first thing I want to start off with is Q2 really hindered McLaren's qualifying. Now, not just from a McLaren perspective in terms of wanting to cheer them on, I really did think that they could get into Q3, and I know JT will agree. Now, do you think that if the red flag wasn't brought out and the session wasn't restarted, or it was restarted, if anything, do you think that McLaren would have got into Q3?
We'll never fully know, obviously, but I mean, in my opinion, yes, because McLaren had decent pace. I mean, in Q1, Jensen got fourth, if you remember. I mean, obviously, yeah, everyone was on the slow compound tyres, but coming from a car that couldn't even get through Q1, actually couldn't get in like a Q2 position in Q1, let alone getting like the top 10. Um, so he did well there. So McLaren do have the pace definitely going to Q2 and definitely Q3. And obviously, you heard Alonso's frustration, and all that.
Yeah.
Obviously, another memorable Alonso moment. But oh yeah, I was very annoyed when the red flags came out and then said that to Alonso that they couldn't have another chance, and I was like, oh, God, I was absolutely good. Cause I was like, oh well, we move on. But I mean, to be fair, I am impressed with McLaren, both in qualifying and in racing. So
Yeah.
I can't really go.
It was fantastic. I mean, today obviously they were both out of the points. Now,
Yeah.
that's not really, that's not really surprising because they haven't. When was the last time they were in the points? Obviously, apart from Stoffel in Bahrain. So
I think it was Hungary 2015. The last time them two scored
yeah,
points in the same race.
it was looking obviously when the safety car came out on lap 4. It was looking promising for Fernando Alonso. He was third into the restart. Now, I was obviously when I was watching the race, and I should JT will agree. When I was watching it, I was thinking that Fernando was going to have a fantastic start. I mean, he has said that he is the best driver in Formula One. He just needs a car. I mean, he probably is. He's got obviously one of the best pedigrees, and he's the third best driver in terms of championships, obviously behind Sebastian Vettel and Lewis Hamilton. So I thought he would do fantastic from third, but obviously it's not meant to be. McLaren's both out at the points now, and obviously Stoffel will just be feeling much better about himself. So he'll obviously, I think he's in Japan at the moment, getting ready for his junior series. Now he'll be watching the race. Obviously on the afternoon, China's time, an hour ahead. I don't know what it is in Japan. So he'll be very, very happy with his performance. Now the next driver I want to move on to is obviously Red Bull's Daniel Kvyat. He did an unbelievable race to get onto the podium. Now, obviously, Daniel Ricciardo from second place, I was really backing him. Now, he had a puncher on lap 3. He leapfrogged Nico Rosberg on the start after all the carnage, which we'll get into a bit later on in the video. Now, he got ahead of Nico Rosberg, was leading the race. The Mercedes was unbelievably powerful. But yeah, I mean, obviously Daniel would have put up more of a fight if he never had that puncher. Now that really destroyed his race, as a puncher does in any race. Use an example, obviously Kevin Magnussen in Australia, he was running quite well. I think he was in the points at that time a points position. Obviously, a puncher on lap 2 in Australia really destroyed his race. Now Daniel obviously doing absolutely fantastic, and he is definitely a big nomination for the Driver of the Day award. Now JT, just quickly, Driver of the Day award.
Driver of the Day award. This coveted amazing trophy.
Absolutely amazing.
It's split into two different drivers this season. Oh, by the way, I would like to point out on Sky Sports F1 on qualifying, David Croft pointed out that both Driver of the Day awards went to Roman Grosjean. I would like to confirm that this is wrong. David Croft is an absolute liar. It didn't go both to Grosjean. One went to Grosjean, one went to Stoffel Van Dorn.
It is.
We awarded him, so don't upset. Come what we said. So in this Driver of the Day award is going to Danny Kiewert. Now, Danny
it is.
said he would love to take this award. I mean, obviously, he just it texted me about 5 minutes before we started recording, just after the race, saying that he would love to take it, but unfortunately couldn't be there. He did leave us a message. Where's my phone? Is there on somewhere? Here it is. He said, "Hi JT, sorry I could not make today's award ceremony to get my Driver of the Day award. As you know, I am in where's he at?
China.
This is obviously real. I would like to thank my friends, my family, and Red Bull for this award, and hopefully I can win many more."
So, thank you, Danny Kvyat. What a fantastic text.
I can't believe I forgot where the word.
And I can't believe you forgot a Danny Kvyat texter. You must have a great contact list. You had Stoffel Van Dorn from Bahrain, you had Roman Grosjean from Australia, and then now you've got Danny Kvyat, and you must have a great contact list. And also you've got LC, which is
Very people have LC because no friends.
absolutely amazing. And obviously Nico Rosberg doing unbelievable. Now let's move on to his teammate Lewis Hamilton. Obviously starting last on the grid. Absolutely, I put on a picture yesterday on our Facebook wall of the Mercedes versus like this little granny on a electronic scooter. Now Lewis Hamilton, when he started, I mean, obviously, it's not a given, but obviously a lot of you people know, if you play F1 online or F1 on game consoles, if you start in the middle of the grid, in the middle of the pack, or even to the battlefield, you're always going to most definitely collide with somebody, just because obviously it's almost a given. It's like there's not enough space for as many cars going into that corner. Obviously, so Lewis is a faster car. Mercedes will have a better getting off the line speed. So he did collide with it was thought to be the two Ferraris. Now they did collide and move to the back of the grid, but I mean you can't really be unsure. So Lewis Hamilton damaged his end plate and the floor of the car, which subsequently meant he had to go into the pits. Now Lewis Hamilton made, I think it was 5 pit stops. Obviously 4 in the space of inside the first 10 laps. Now getting onto the Ferraris, obviously they did collide with each other. Now this was just a racing incident. Obviously don't read too much into it. Don't think it's like the Multi-21 of the Red Bulls, or Spa 14, or even Austin 15 of the Mercedes. Now obviously that was just a little racing incident. Now they run different strategies. They were very respectful for each other. Obviously Kimi Raikkonen finished 5th place and moved over for Sebastian. If anything, he actually helped him, because I'll tell you why. Because coming into about 2/3 into the race, Daniel Ricciardo was closing on Sebastian Vettel. Now Kimi Raikkonen kept him at bay while Sebastian went into the pits, and so obviously Kimi helping his race. And that's really strange how Kimi is this very forceful and selfish driver. When it comes to Seb, he's right up there. He loves him. But so obviously at least it's good to report on something about the teammates being nice to each other rather than not nice. As that was pretty good. Now there was a few battles between obviously team supremacy. I mean, another one to use as an example is Toro Rosso. Now obviously they're 2 drivers, Carlos Sainz and Max Verstappen. Now they're in a unique position because they're both sons of Formula 1, ex-Formula 1 drivers, ex-motor racing drivers, obviously with a Formula 1 now. So now, as I say, they're in a junior team, but they're both fighting for supremacy. And that's what it was. They finished together. They're both Toro Rossos in the points, which was great for Toro Rosso. Great weekend also for the, I don't know if you call it the Red Bull franchise, but obviously the 2 teams, the big team Red Bull and then the smaller team Toro Rosso. It was a fantastic drive for them. All 4 drivers in the points, which was great. Now the next team to discuss, JT, is the team that did, obviously the driver won the best award in Australia. They also did well in Malaysia, but they did absolutely terrible in this race, and it's Haas.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely disappointing from Haas. I mean, Grosjean had been complaining of a terrible car all race, and obviously Esteban Gutierrez didn't really help. So I mean, it was a big disappointment for Haas. I mean, I've been saying this for quite a few weeks. I think I said it on a few videos that yes, Haas is in the moment right now, but that time will come where they will crash back down to earth. And they'll all have to start sorting some problems out, because they've had 2 fantastic races, as well, more Roman Grosjean and Gutierrez. But I mean, yeah, not a good race from them. I think it's going to be one of many to come, definitely. But I mean, don't get us wrong, they have started very, very well. I mean, they're already still ahead of like the likes of McLaren, Manor, Renault, and all them. So I mean, credit them where it's due. But I mean, abysmal. from Haas today. I was tipping them maybe to do well this race. I mean, as you probably see, LC predicted Roman Grosjean fourth.
I did.
Just up by Daniel Ricciardo. And obviously, how wrong was everyone tipping Roman Grosjean to do well? But I'm a bit disappointed. But I mean, at the same time, maybe they've had 2 good races. Maybe now it's right. You need to start getting some problems. You need to learn the hard way in Formula One.
Yeah,
because it isn't easy.
Esteban Gutierrez has seen the checkered flag for the first time this season.
Maybe he's getting driver of the day award. Have you seen the checkered flag for the first time this season?
No. Possibly. I mean, he was up there. No, he wasn't. I mean, that isn't even a good thing. But actually, JT, I mean, as I say, I always say Stoffel Van Dorn, who, by the way, isn't even a Formula One driver. He is ahead of him in the World Championship table. Now Esteban actually gets on it. And also, another driver who gets on it, with 0 points, by the way, but his name does appear at the bottom, is Fernando Alonso. As I say, he's seen the checkered flag for the first time. But the thing is, obviously, different to Esteban. There was no way he would see it in Bahrain. Obviously, Esteban could have, but didn't. Obviously, JT said, abysmal drive by both Hasses. Now, when I think it was on Saturday morning before qualifying, I saw that I think it's 4th place in the constructors table, and that really was exciting. It's also exciting because JT put, don't you get a £3,000 rebate if they win?
I do, yeah. I think I put £3 on, but it has to win the constructors, and I get about £3,000 back or something like that.
Which would be great.
I mean, I took the risk because I remember like, when Braun came in, I mean, did everyone really predict them doing well?
Of course not.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you never ever know.
No.
And then that kind of just like, yeah.
Nobody thought that. It'd be exciting, and obviously JT would then fund, well, I know, a trip somewhere next season, the season after, it'd be all good. Absolutely great drive. Now, I mean, Nico, his performance this race was, I'd say it was his best race ever. Obviously, as I pointed out, he took his maiden win in 2012 with Mercedes in China 2012. Unbelievable. Now 40 seconds ahead of Sebastian Vettel, a 4-time world champion with Ferrari, and obviously some incredible drives. If anything, I mean, I know obviously all 21, obviously bar him, couldn't really contend to win, but still, there was no retirement, so he beat 21 of the world's best drivers, which was great. Now, Mercedes have now. This was their 400th race as an engine supplier, obviously supplying Mercedes engines, and it was also because of Nico Rosberg's podium. It was their 100th podium as a team, and yeah, absolutely. As a start, obviously that's great. Now he moves into the next race, the Russian Grand Prix. If he wins that, obviously he matches Michael Schumacher's record of 7 wins in a row, and obviously he'll be chasing that. And he'll also be chasing Sebastian Vettel's obviously 9 in a row that he said in 2013. Now, obviously, it's a long way away, and obviously another 4 races that would take us to. If he wins a Canadian Grand Prix, I think that's it won. Do you think he'll be able to do that?
I mean, the form he is in at the moment, Rosberg can win every single race.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that. I mean, he genuinely could, because the pace and the reliability of his car is just fantastic. And I mean, Rosberg's not going to be. I mean, Lewis Hamilton can't even complain one bit because he's had all this glory since he came in. If you remember, I mean, the earliest we can date back to them 2 squabbling was back in Malaysia 2013 when Rosberg wanted to be passed. Ross Brawn said no, he wanted the cars to come home.
Sub 21.
Pretty much. And Rosberg was twisting on because, I mean, to be fair, he'd been there since 2010, since the start. Hamilton came in for 2 races and he was like number 1 driver. So Rosberg always been at Hamilton. Then even more in 2014 and even more in 2015.
Yeah.
So it's always been grudging for these past 3 to 4 seasons. And now Rosberg's like, screw you, I'm doing this.
He is. He's doing it his way. Absolutely unbelievable. Now I've got a stat which obviously is great.
Stat attack.
In stat attack TM. No, not really. There has been 9 times in the past in the history of Formula One, starting with Alberto Ascari back in the day, where the first 3 races have been won. Obviously 3 races have been won by that driver on the trot, and then they have gone on to win the World Championship. Now that's been done by obviously big name Alberto Ascari, Michael Schumacher, and obviously Damon Hill in 1996. So that's great. And obviously if Nico Rosberg can win these 3 races and go on to win 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, I mean, when's his form going to end? I don't I don't really know, but I mean, just as obviously he's on form and he's doing it his way now. Yeah, you're right. I mean, he's not feeding off Lewis Hamilton's disappointment at all. He didn't, put Lewis Hamilton at the back of the grid or anything like that. He, he drove his race. He drove an amazing race. That's the thing. I'd say Rosberg did an amazing race. He would get driver of the day, but obviously, no.
Well,
I think it's got to be more of a fight.
He's in a quick car.
Yeah.
I mean, we would give it to Hamilton because going from last to seventh is
Yeah.
good, but he's got a quick car, so it's like, well, it's going to be easy for him.
Yeah, well, I
It's
mean,
not gonna be easy, but he's going to have an advantage.
well, I mean, it wasn't. It was a, in terms of Hamilton's race, it was so. I mean, obviously using.
Yeah, I mean, he had an incident at the start, but
Yeah, I mean, Hungary 2014, the Hungarian Grand Prix in 2014, obviously with a comfortable season and a half with Mercedes. He was at the back of the grid. He was disqualified outside the 107% rule, and then he came to podium, finished third. Now, obviously, compared to that, that's nothing compared to what he's done today because he hasn't obviously podiumed at all. But yeah, I mean, an average race for Lewis Hamilton. Obviously, all the pit stops. He pitted for the front wing, then he changed. Then he changed to the soft. Then he went to the super soft with one lap, and then changed back to the soft because Paddy Lowe said we have a plan. Now I was, a bit what's happening here, but that was the plan, obviously, to that he didn't have to change onto the super soft again. So they changed back to the soft. One other stop, which came about lap 40, which was for the medium tyre, and that was the one to finish the race. So obviously. Good strategy by them, and obviously it's good that he's got Mercedes behind him. A good thought to keep him in the race. Obviously, battling between the team radio, what can and can't be said. So yeah, I mean, obviously, overall a good strong race for Mercedes as a constructor. Now I don't know how many points it is, but obviously they will extend their lead at the top because of obviously the points from Lewis Hamilton, which is 4 from 7th, and then obviously the 25 from Nico for winning the race. Obviously, that's more important for him. He goes up to 75 points. Lewis will go, I think it's about 37 for him because he was on 33 beforehand.
39.
But 39.
Yeah. I think Rosberg will extend his lead to about 36 points in the top.
Yeah.
You've got Hamilton, Rosberg first, Hamilton second. How many points? Ricardo will still be third. Vettel will be fourth because Vettel got a DNF in the last race. And I don't know who will be after that.
Yeah.
Maybe someone like Massa or Reitman or something like that.
Yeah. Well, it was a DNS for Sebastian. DNS probably sounds. It's probably a bit more saving grace than a DNF because at least he didn't race and fall foul within the race. But let's move on. As mentioned, to Sebastian Vettel. Now, a fantastic race by him. He had the collision with Kimi Raikkonen, which obviously forced him into pits again to change to sort his crash out. He also then had more damage from his front end plate during the middle of the race. Obviously, that'll hinder aerodynamics so much. Obviously, more so than probably ever in Formula One. Obviously, because they make the rear wings, the front wings, and the rear wings. Obviously, the front wing, the first thing that hit, the airflow will hit over the car. They want to make it the most aerodynamic as possible. If the front end plate's damaged. And actually, also, Daniel Ricciardo had a bit of damage to the front, what's called the spatula, something like the spatula block over the front wing. I don't know if any of you people can tell us really what that means.
I think it's the side. I think it's on the sideway. I think on the top
yeah,
or something.
Yeah, and that was damaged, and obviously that hindered his aerodynamics. Sebastian did a great race, aided by Kimi Raikkonen, which I would say he did a good race to finish in fifth place, which was quite good by him. Obviously from his qualifying position, maybe we could have expected a bit more, but yeah, I'm very happy with that. Obviously Sebastian, still proving to everyone that he's probably the only person that can catch the Mercedes drivers, which I mean obviously very looking really good for Ferrari. Now obviously Sebastian, he'd won the second race of the season last year in Malaysia. Obviously his second race for Ferrari. We're heading into round 4. So it's not running out of time for Sebastian. Oh, and also, sorry, as well, he's had a full season at Ferrari. So do you think how close do you think he'll get to a win, and when do you think it'll happen? If it does, if anything.
That is the $1 million question.
It is.
Not only for us, but for Ferrari, because it's like the form of Nico Rosberg right now is just unbelievable. It's like I said before, he has the potential to win every single race.
He does.
There will be a time where you will get a reliability problem.
Yeah.
It's happened in every season that Mercedes have dominated. They've always had a bit of a hiccup, like when Ricciardo started winning, when Vettel started winning, there was like 2 out of 3 races and stuff like that. I think they'll hit form like that, and that was when Ferrari, hopefully Ferrari will pounce and get there. I doubt that they will win the constructors. I doubt Vettel will win the drivers.
Yeah.
It's Rosberg's to lose, but Hamilton isn't that far behind. It's only a win and like a fifth place behind him or something like that. So it's still not to play for. It's still early days.
Oh yeah, of course.
Anything can happen. We're only seeing what we can see so far.
Yeah.
But as like I said, the form Rosberg's in, he's unbeatable. Really is.
Yeah. I mean, it is obviously all to play for. You know, with a 30 or so lead, obviously in the table. I mean, even like 2012 as an example, obviously 7 different winners and 7 different races. So that, you know, there was different people were leapfrogging each other in the championship, and it was only really established, well, probably after the European Grand Prix, obviously when Fernando Alonso became the second winner of a second race, obviously winning in. Where did he win? It was China, wasn't it, in 2012? No, it wasn't. Where did he win? No, that was anyway, whatever. So obviously he won. Sorry.
Was Malaysia 2012?
Malaysia, yes, that was it. Yes, that was it. Because
he had a battle with Sergio Perez.
Yeah, that was it. So obviously he won in Malaysia, then he won in Europe, and that was when it was established. But yeah, using an example, yeah, it's all open. It hasn't been established yet, but obviously it'd be great for Rosberg if he could go all the way. I think I just really wanted to see this record. Now, obviously, when Sebastian was winning his 9 in 2013, obviously he ran out of time. I mean, obviously I know that you can carry it on because Nico hasn't won 6 races this season. It hasn't been 6 races. So he won the previous 3 races of last season. Now, obviously Sebastian then could have gone on to win Australia in 2014, but obviously, yeah, you know, his domination obviously in the V8 era ended in Brazil, which was the 9th race. Now, I mean, he could have gone more, but I really want to see Nico, beat his record. It would be great. And the thing that I like about Nico, you know, more than anything, is his perception of Formula One. Is how he goes about it. He's very much like using Lauda and Hunt, and obviously I'll use the movie as an example because I assume that more people have seen the movie than probably know their background. Now, obviously Hunt is described as a radical playboy. He parties late. He parties late, sleeps like an hour, doesn't do much, smokes, drinks, does all this and that and the other. Plays about in Formula One. And acts like he's he's always on the pace and all that. And then Niki Lauda acts obviously very calm, very full of him, very calm, very spiritual and all that. And now that's what Nico Rosberg does. Now he said yesterday when a commentator asked him what he's going to do for a win. Because there's a nightclub in China, which obviously all the drivers go to. You probably know that from if you read about Hamilton and Sutton in 2011. Unfortunately, yeah.
I remember that.
Anyway, so obviously they all go to that. Hamilton will be going to that, even though he's obviously not done the best race. That he'll. I mean, I'm not sure what he'll be thinking. Obviously I'll have to watch the post race interviews, but I'm not sure what he's thinking. If he's happy with his performance, if he's not. But obviously on the radio when they did say push Lewis, push, he would respond and say I am. I'm giving the car everything. So we really don't know. Anyway, but Nico said that what he's going to do is to celebrate JT. He's going to take the first Lufthansa flight back to Germany because, quote, he's a family man. Obviously he has got a family, obviously established back in Germany. It shows the presence of obviously Niki Lauda compared to in the movie, and obviously say Hamilton's like James Hunt. And actually, one thing I found was really funny because Ted Kravitz took the flight with Nico Rosberg in Austria. I think it was Austria 14 when he won the race. And he said that he flew back with him, obviously the short trip from Austria to Germany. He said in the airport he treated himself. Listen to this, JT. Guess what he treated himself to? Have a guess. Close. A hamburger. So you keep away from fast food, but it just it made me laugh. I mean, he's the winner. He's really at that point he was the only person that could catch Hamilton. Obviously, contributing to Mercedes double constructors championships, back to back, and he did that. So I like Rosberg's perception. He really does. He doesn't go out too brash because obviously with Lewis Hamilton, I mean obviously he's a great driver. I really respect him, of course, and I'd love to be him. Obviously, with all the money that he's got and all that. But I think sometimes, especially in the winter break, when he's not in Formula One, and obviously I assume it'll be the same in the summer break after, the few months between before Belgium. Now, I think that, someone's got to shake him. Sometimes you've got to shake him and say, you're a Formula One driver. Stop going out and partying and.
He is living his life to the full. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously everyone has their own perspective of what they.
He hasn't got a family. That's
Hamilton hasn't got. I don't know if it's with anybody, but he hasn't got like, as I said, a family. Rosberg has a daughter, so obviously he'll want to go back to there. Not celebrate party. He'll want to go back and see his daughter. But I haven't seen her all weekend because I know Vivian never goes to a Grand Prix anymore because obviously she's looking after the little one. Which I believe. I think we'll see an appearance of her sometime this season.
Oh well,
because obviously when Vivian was heavily pregnant, she never came to any races. In case it came, obviously Rosberg was on standby. Then when she did came, and still she hasn't been there because it's like still like maternity leave. She's still looking after her, trying to help her progress. So I believe that we'll see. I don't know what she's called, by the way. I don't know what Rosberg's daughter's called, but I believe that she will make an appearance definitely this season. Hopefully, I think Rosberg is probably teaching her to slap Hamilton.
little Miss Rosberg, but yeah, I mean, obviously, when Lewis was with Nicole, obviously in his early years at McLaren, now that was strange because obviously Lewis was incredibly young then. Obviously once she was shook, once he tried to shake her off and she eventually fell off, then he started winning. Obviously he did as well because they broke up. I think it was late 2012, early 13, when he moved to Mercedes. Or no, it might have been mid. I think I saw her in the Mercedes paddock, and obviously, but he definitely left her before he started winning his 2 world championships.
I think Hamilton should consider trying to have a daughter or a son because I think ever since Rosberg has had his little girl, he's been on fire.
He's been calmer. He's been
he's just been winning. Everywhere. I mean, he won he dominated the last races of last season.
Yeah.
When Hamilton won the championship, he's dominated this season, and it's like he's probably proud.
Yeah.
I think Hamilton's probably sitting there going, maybe.
And obviously with the with the father-son pairings in Formula 1 at the moment, we're in 5. Obviously, the 2 Renault drivers, 2 Toro Rosso drivers, and Nico himself. Yeah, it'd be great. We'll have another Hamilton in that would be just amusing. That to say in 20 years time, when we're old men. It'd be great because that means we'd have exactly the same people on the grid. We'd have a Hamilton, we'd have a Rosberg, we'd have a we'd have another Verstappen. We'd have another Verstappen. We'd have another Verline. We'd have a Haryanto. We'd have Max Verstappen. What a ledge. His race was just so. I mean, there wasn't really much to say about him. Another lazy team now. They always come to mind, obviously, as a team that haven't produced much. Obviously, Williams. Now, Felipe Massa again. I think he was in 4th place at the restart. Now again, like Fernando Alonso, that was looking incredible. Very very exciting because I was expecting loads from them, but they didn't perform too much. Valtteri Bottas had an even race, so did Felipe Massa. Not too much from them, but obviously I hope that they progress in the season. Obviously, using Austria, just as I mentioned that as an example, remember Felipe Massa took pole position there in its return into Formula 1. So, it's something like that we need to definitely see again, which will be, great.
I mean, Williams haven't, obviously, the past 2 years, they've been good, because obviously Williams, at the start of the 21st century, haven't been well, haven't done good. But now, I think 2014, it was like, yes, come on, Williams, we're back. 2015, come on, and again, that's another good season. 2016, he's need to win a race.
Yeah.
I mean, you survived podium, that's fair enough, you've done well. But now, you've got once had Mercedes, then 2015, you've got Ferrari. Now, by the looks of it, you've got Red Bull. When I did my F1 for Life predictions, I had Daniel Ricciardo 3rd because I knew Red Bull would do well at this circuit because they've done all right this season. So I had Daniel Ricciardo as 3rd to finish, and obviously I was 1 place wrong. But now Red Bull are starting to creep up there because now they've got their podium already. First podium in 2016. Yeah, I think last season only had 2 podiums in 2015.
Yeah.
So now this is like early doors.
Yeah.
Now, so maybe they're trying to keep up there. So Williams is trying to fall back even more, and they really can't afford it.
They had a great season in 2014, obviously finishing 3rd place, which was great.
I mean, 3rd place in 2015 is good, but they didn't win a race. They need to win a race to sort of establish their return in a way, because I mean, Bottas hasn't won a race. Massa's won multiple races. I think if Bottas wants to become the next flying Finn, he'll need to start winning some races. Otherwise, big teams won't pick him up, and then he won't have his chance. Yeah.
Speaking of Williams, obviously, happy birthday to Sir Frank Williams, who turned 74 yesterday on Saturday qualifying, and also happy birthday to Romain Grosjean, today, obviously for the race. I think he turned 30, obviously, but he never really got any.
I'm not in good with old people's birthdays.
But he never really got any good presence. Obviously, a abysmal race by Haas,
See,
which was really a shame.
He could have had this
For a birthday, but he could have had it the second time in a row, and then basically, and that would have been another stack attack. That would have been, Roman Grosjean would have been the only.
Ever in F1 individual history to have this award twice.
But to be honest, though, you will.
They've cost a liar.
But to be honest, though, I mean, if you have it, you'll be always. I mean, Stoffel Van Dorn, as I said, JT, he's not even a Formula One driver, and he has scored a point. But more importantly, got the trophy. I know who won the point. Everyone wants that. Yeah, so it was really good. Now heading in, round 4, heading into Russia. Now Russia, the Russian Grand Prix in Sochi around the Winter Olympic Park is played in well to Mercedes. Now it's been a track that has suited the car. Obviously, it was the penultimate race before Lewis took his second World Championship, and it was also where Mercedes took 14 and 15 their Constructors' World Championship. So it's really paid in with them. Again, I know it's early doors yet, JT, but I think the only thing I can say is Rosberg is going to get number 7.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only thing you can say. I mean, you might as well start between the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th because Rosberg's in the league with someone right now.
And then after that, I mean, but the thing is, of course, today, right? Today's race has shown that, because before, obviously, with my predictions and things where people are thinking that 1, 2, and 3 have to be, say like both Mercedes drivers and a Ferrari driver, or both Ferrari drivers and a Mercedes driver, or one Ferrari driver, one Mercedes driver. The big teams. And I mean, no, it wasn't like a Haas and a Renault and a Manor on the podium, but today's really shook it up. Obviously, to have Daniel Kvyat on the podium. How old is he now? Is he 21? Something like that? 21, 22?
I'm not too sure. I know he is definitely quite young. I think
yeah.
Like 22, around that.
Yeah, so obviously that is great to have, and obviously, he outscored his teammate in their mini, obviously the mini table that the teams always have. So a great race by him, and obviously heading into his home race. Now, he hasn't really been, old enough and experienced enough to ever try and challenge for a podium or a win there. But especially for a podium today, 3rd place here, obviously, beating some fantastic drivers. I think he can definitely do it, in the next race, and I'd hope that he would have a win. I hope that he gets, obviously, like many drivers will do, I hope he gets a real sense of, excitement for next race. Obviously, he's been his teammate today, 3rd place, obviously, so first podium for Red Bull, and also, it's his home race, and to be honest, I think this race, more than anything, he's probably in the best position to, I'm not going to say go for the win, but probably go for 2nd place, and even bring the fight to Rosberg, or obviously 1st place. I'm saying Rosberg because I think it probably will be.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Rosberg he's won the race before even P1.
Yeah.
Or actually before they even got there. So Rosberg's won that race by far. But Kvyat, obviously it's his home race. That's done well there in the past.
No, not doing
well. Obviously he's got a better car this season. He's a talented driver. He's improved in recent times. And I think he stands a good chance of getting another podium. Definitely, I would tip him for a podium place. Provided he qualifies well, and provided he stays out of trouble. Because obviously, you get what do you call it? What do you call it now? Like a grid deduction.
Oh yeah, penalty.
Like a grid penalty. Oh my god, that was awful. Man.
Yeah.
You might get like grid penalty or something like that in a session, or even what happened with him before he got there.
Yeah.
So anything can happen, but finally he keeps away from trouble.
Yeah.
I would tip him to do well, but obviously we'll explain, probably talk about him more, whether being a Russian driver in the Russian Grand Prix preview.
Yes, of course.
Not next. Not next.
It is.
Not next Thursday, but the Thursday after.
It's May the 1st. Sunday, May the 1st is the Russian Grand Prix, or the Russian Grand Prix race. Obviously, Friday is the 29th of April is the kick-off for the practice. Now, just one more thing I want to discuss, which obviously I imagine some people are thinking out there, which I saw on the TV. People were saying that obviously Lewis Hamilton had his grid position of 5 positions for his gearbox. Now he didn't set a time in Q1. Now, in the olden days, in the 2013 season, that would have rolled on for the next race. What I mean is obviously again, it would have been the same in the Russian Grand Prix. Even if he got a pole, even if he got the first position, he would have gone back to 6th. Now, that used to be around, but I'll tell you why it was scrapped, because, for example, in those times, obviously, it'd be a man in Russia driver or a Caterham driver. Say if they got the penalty, a 5 grid penalty, obviously 24 drivers on the grid at the moment. Say if they qualified 21st, that means they would move back. There's 3 positions back to last position. That means they would have 2 positions outstanding for the next race, and that would keep going on. And it was scrapped because, I mean, say if you finished at the back of the grid, you would have a 5 position penalty for the next race. Say if you finished at the back of the grid, qualified, then you would have another 5 penalty. So obviously they had to scrap it for then. So it doesn't carry on for Lewis in Russia. I know it was obviously an ARS failure in qualifying, but that definitely probably didn't help his perception on qualifying. It probably didn't help the team as well, because they were thinking, well, even if we kill ourselves to get through to Q3. By the way, because as well, obviously, as you say, it's the first time we've seen this old qualifying system, or the only qualifying, let's say, in 2016. Because of the new tyres, because of the new Pirelli tyres, the new compounds. When I say I don't mean the ultra stuff, because I say that doesn't make an appearance until the Canadian Grand Prix in mid-June. Because of the new Pirelli tyres, we used to see teams like Red Bull, Mercedes fly under the radar with the worn tyres, or the less fastest tyres, the grippier tyres, the ones that they want to save for Q2 and Q3. That probably didn't happen. Obviously, we saw Red Bull, Mercedes, and Ferrari go out on their fastest tyres. I think it was the soft at that time. It was the intermediate / soft in Q1. So obviously, they didn't use their less worn tyres. Then obviously, I'd say it would have affected them. Knowing that. I mean, and obviously the ARS failures, you can't stop it, but it wouldn't have been thought in that if we get in through to Q3, Hamilton goes for pole position, destroys the tyres to get onto pole. It's not going to make any difference, because he's going to go back to 6 automatically. So, I mean, obviously, as I say, ARS failure, it's you can't stop it, but it wouldn't. I don't think Hamilton's perception of qualifying would have been as strong as, say, when we go into Sochi, when obviously he'll have a fresher head, knowing that if he gets pole position, he will get pole position.
Oh, definitely.
So,
yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously Hamilton taking qualifying. I mean, he might get pole position.
Yeah.
In Russia, if he does well. Obviously, I think I might have to re-look at it. But if you remember, I was saying if Hamilton gets pole position at every single Grand Prix, he can overtake. He become the all-time pole position scorer.
Yeah, he will do. Yeah.
I don't know if that's still the case now, because he's missed one. I'll have to double check that and I'll probably post it on the page. If you can.
I think it still is.
I think that you only had he only missed 2 or 3 races.
Yeah.
And he can still do it, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'll double check. But,
yeah.
So yeah, he's definitely very, very close.
Yeah, so, I mean, again, it's all these things obviously that the drivers want to fight for, which is great. Obviously, Hamilton going for a pole position, obviously knowing that he's got that to go for. He's also then going for to decrease the gap between obviously himself and his teammate who's running ahead, or anyone for that matter. Just one final thing after just said that, JT. Do you think that, say if it was Sebastian Vettel running off in the distance with a 30-point lead, or Nico Rosberg running off in the distance with a 30-point lead, which one do you think's more anxious to Hamilton? Which one do you think you'd want to, which of those two do you think you'd want to catch first? Or do you think you'd want to catch them both at the same time?
Well, no one Hamilton would want to catch them both at the same time.
Yeah.
Definitely, obviously you can't, but I would probably think I don't know what Hamilton would think, but the sensible way would be to catch Vettel first, because again he's the closest and he's probably the fastest out of both Mercedes. Obviously, if you discuss that, he's the fastest. So obviously you want to try and catch Vettel first. Then once he's back up there, the likes of obviously what Rosberg's doing, he can then eventually start going after Rosberg. If you can start beating Vettel, that's good. If you get to Rosberg, even better. But obviously you'll need Rosberg to start falling off the pace. And Hamilton need to pick up the pace and perform better in races. Now, fair enough, he has had the best start to 2016, but it isn't over. 3 races in, another 19, 18 ago.
Yeah.
It's still doors all open. I mean, let's not jump at anything just yet. But as we can see, Rosberg's dominating. Hamilton has fallen behind. They'll need to pick up the pace. He's still second in the in the driver. Sorry, about 36 points behind Rosberg. And I mean, provided Rosberg keeps up his pace, and Hamilton won't catch him.
Yeah.
I mean, if Hamilton keeps up this form, then he's he's going to make himself a bad reputation, and also probably lose a lot of fans, and again probably lose his win streak of the I keep saying constructors, drivers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all exciting wanting to move in. Obviously, what is Hamilton thinking? Catch Nico. Obviously, Nico going for 7. I think that's the most important thing. Nico going for 7. It's incredibly exciting. I really hope he gets it. I don't think I've ever backed Nico as much as I have this season. So that would be unbelievable. I say his perception, how he drives a car. I mean, today's drive, he didn't see anyone. It was unbelievable. He drove flawlessly. His pit stops, everything was great. So that'll do it for our review in China. Now, obviously, please join us next week for our different videos, including the F1 debate show and also F1 Decoded, which comes up on Friday. First episode is Lewis Hamilton v Ayrton Senna. If you haven't checked it out, please check out the where we talk about the channel update. Now you'll be able to find links to that on the screen as I speak. So please go and check that out. Obviously, and also we finished the series F1 for Beginners. If you would like, please go and check out the full series, our 6 episodes, and also our Era of Champions, both parts. If you haven't got them, also subscribe to the F1 Debate Show. Do all the things that we like, all that. So it's all great. So thank you. Thanks for watching this race. Thanks for watching us, and we will see you in the near future. Thank you.